LaQuanda Doris Robinson has been missing from Kannapolis, North Carolina since February 1st. The 15-year-old student was last seen at the A.L. Brown High School on Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. The family believes LaQuanda may have been lured away by an unknown person.
Blame black women. White sex offender caught abusing 15-year-old black girl. The reason why this video is titled, Blame Black Women, is because the algorithm for black girls and black teenage girls tells them to find an old white man so they can live in luxury. Black women will not tell the truth about how white and non-black men treat them. Here are a few examples. A subscriber sent this to me showing stories of black women meeting white and non-black men for the first time, then the white or non-black men immediately sexually assaults them. Black women do not report them and still go on to maintain Mr. Clean's image. Notice she says they are brainwashed by pasta and lobster. Here's where a black woman says that she goes on a date and immediately gets assaulted by a white man who expected sex on the first date. Once they are in the parking lot, the guy turns the situation into a corn scene and starts beating her as he expected rough sex. Not even regular sex, but rough sex outdoors. By the end, she asks other black women for advice. Read the screen. Another story of a non-black man who expected rough sex the moment he gets with a black girl. Are you noticing a pattern? Another parking lot abuse story of a non-black man expected corn star style sex from black women. Notice she said avoid incels and not Indian men or non-black men. Another black girl getting abused by an old white man, but she passes it off. After all these stories, notice how they never say stay away from white and non-black men. How is it that throughout the world, they all have the same story? White men expected rough, corn-style sex from black girls and women within 5 minutes of meeting them. And they don't even ask, they just go for it. Why is this being kept a secret? Another subscriber sent this to me. Look at the comments made by white and non-black men. Black girls are easy, they say. They say black women love white men. They say white women are not checking for them, but black women love them and fall in love with them straight away. They are the easiest to pull and are the freakiest and will do anything for white men. They admit they don't like black women, but black women will fuck anything. Interesting choice of words. So if a white man is out of luck with white and other races of women, black women are available. Black women are so easy because no one wants them. Let that sink in. White men say, because black women have no options, they are always available for sex. The sisterhood, according to Lipstick Alley, won't allow black women to tarnish the image of white and non-black men. Here a black woman states that divestors paint a picture of white and non-black men being perfect, which leads young black women to being abused and sent to the lower room. They bring up black men as a distraction. Behind closed doors, black women have shared horrible stories about getting jumped by white and non-black men. Again, another story of a black woman getting into a white man's car and immediately getting assaulted. Didn't even say hi. Read the screen, but apparently, white men coined the term jumping, which means they don't have to speak, they don't have to ask, and they don't care about black women. They just immediately go for rough sex the minute a black woman is alone in their vicinity. Black women are very comfortable going to the homes of white men. Do you see how all of this is lining up? This adds to this story of a missing LaQuanda Robinson, a 15-year-old black girl who was found living in the home of Andrew Sheck, who was 43.
New tonight, a Chicago area sheriff's office says that they arrested a man accused of sexually assaulting a Kannapolis teen. That's after deputies say he coerced her to travel over 700 miles.
U.S. Marshal Service investigators say they got a tip this week that a missing Kannapolis girl was at a home in the Chicago suburbs. Wednesday, they found the 15-year-old at the home with 43-year-old Andrew Zeck. Detectives say Zeck and the girl began talking online last month. Then early this month, she took a bus to Chicago to meet him.
Federal law enforcement officials zeroed in on this home in the 31,000 block of Prairie Ridge Road Wednesday after learning that a missing 15-year-old girl from Kannapolis, North Carolina, was staying at the residence.
The girl was reported missing in North Carolina earlier this month.
The peaceful ambiance here along Prairie Ridge Road in Libertyville was jolted this week when U.S. Marshals came storming in on the block where a missing 15-year-old girl from North Carolina was found. Now, we have learned that the man charged in this case had a reputation for being anything but a good neighbor. The scene that unfolded was intense, as shown through a photo obtained by CBS News Chicago when armed U.S. Marshals entered the home. Authorities arrested 43-year-old Andrew Sheck and rescued the teen who was reported missing. Investigators say she was lured to the home by Sheck after meeting him online. They say he urged her to take a bus to Chicago earlier this month, where he picked her up and took her to his Libertyville home and sexually abused her. That teen, now safe and headed back to her family in North Carolina. A search warrant at the Libertyville home later uncovered a gun along with thousands of ounces of cannabis and other controlled substances. The news did not surprise neighbors who told CBS News Chicago that the home was frequently visited around the clock, where they suspected drug activity was taking place. Their concerns grew louder last June when Sheck was arrested and charged with reckless discharge of a firearm when he opened fire outside his home. Those bullets flying into a neighboring house. Remnants of that incident still remain on the street. In connection to this week's arrest, Sheck has been charged with 3 counts of criminal sexual abuse, aggravated battery, unlawful possession of a firearm, as well as a slew of drug-related charges. Now, Sheck remains held in Lake County Jail and is back in court on Friday for a detention hearing.
A grand jury has upgraded charges against a man accused of involuntary servitude of a missing child who authorities say was kept at his Green Oaks home for weeks and sexually abused. Andrew W. Sheck, 43, of Green Oaks, was initially charged last month with 3 counts of criminal sexual abuse, unlawful possession of psilocybin mushrooms with intent to deliver, unlawful possession of cannabis with intent to deliver, unlawful possession of cannabis, unlawful possession of Adderall with intent to deliver, aggravated battery, unlawful possession of cannabis plants, 2 counts of aggravated unlawful possession of a firearm, reckless conduct, and aggravated assault. A Lake County grand jury returned a true bill indictment on Wednesday, additionally charging Sheck with 4 counts of involuntary sexual servitude of a minor, a Class X felony, and 4 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, a Class II felony, along with other charges. On July 23, 2024, the United States Marshals Service received information about the location of a missing 15-year-old girl from Kannapolis, North Carolina. The U.S. Marshals learned the girl was possibly located at a house in the 31,000 block of Prairie Ridge Road in Green Oaks. The United States Marshals Service informed the Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, Chicago Field Office and the Lake County Sheriff's Office. The investigation produced evidence showing the girl was confirmed to be at the Green Oaks residence. A search warrant was obtained for the residence the next day. Cavilli said detectives set up surveillance at the home and Sheck, 43, who resides at the house, was seen leaving with the victim around 4 p.m. Detectives apprehended Sheck and rescued the victim, Cavilli said. A further investigation revealed that Sheck allegedly began communicating with the victim online in June. He encouraged the victim to take a bus from her home to Chicago in early July, Cavilli said. Sheck picked the teenager up from the Chicago bus station and took her to his home in Green Oaks, where he sexually abused her, Cavilli said. The girl had been at Sheck's home for a few weeks. Detectives learned during the investigation that Sheck was forcing the juvenile to perform sexual acts on him in exchange for food and a place to live, Cavilli said. Court records show Sheck was out on bond in a pending Lake County case at the time of his arrest. Sheck, a convicted felon, had posted 10% of a $300,000 bond in July 2023 after being charged with reckless discharge of a firearm and felon in possession of a firearm. I don't know if this girl is underage too. She appears to have a child by this other white man. I don't know, but you notice the septum ring? You notice how black women are encouraging young black girls to enjoy getting raped. This is from his Facebook. This white man is a walking PD file and no one said anything. You even have black women hanging around him. Why are they encouraging a PD file? Are black women that desperate to see quote-unquote relationships with white men even though he is a criminal? According to this black man, that is the case. He says black women frequent the black women, white men corn pages more than actual men. Black women created a multi-million-dollar industry from their white man worship. Black women are the ones that groom black girls to accept abuse from white men, and then if anyone says something about it, they attack them and try to blame black men some way, somehow. Black women do not warn young black girls of the dangers of white and non-black men. Instead, they groom black girls to stay away from black men their age because he isn't a millionaire by 21 years old, while telling black girls to go for old white men who are broke, pedophiles, and criminals. You can't make this up. Blame black women.